Welcome to the show. We've just been hearing news that the court has ruled that elections will take place in some wards and not in others. Can you confirm this?
Yes, we can confirm that just over an hour ago, we have received the order of the court in this matter, which then clarifies which by-elections will proceed and which by-elections cannot proceed. At this point, it is important, as you would know, that today was special voting day and tomorrow is the election day. It is important that we make appropriate arrangements for the by-elections that are continuing tomorrow to continue, and to inform those voters that are affected in those by-elections that are not continuing tomorrow, that those by-elections will not, in fact, be continuing tomorrow.
Would you agree that this ruling is a strong indictment against the IEC? You've clearly made some mistakes along the way.
We are breaking. I can hardly hear you. If you would kindly repeat, please.
I'm saying, would you agree that the ruling is in fact an indictment against the organization? You've clearly made some mistakes in this process.
I can hardly hear you. Can we try again?
I'm saying that you've clearly made some sort of mistakes in the run-up to this. It's landed up in court. Would you concede that you have, in fact, as the IEC, made mistakes?
We have conceded, and one must say in the issue of, in the instance of the Ward 13 candidate, we have conceded and we have expressed our regret to the candidate, and we have issued that apology to him in a letter indicating that an error has occurred. In the instance of the other candidates, it is a situation where there was a dispute of fact, and the court has now dealt with that matter. We will have to look at those situations and deal with them as the court has directed.
Can you go into explaining what exactly went wrong in that process? Where did the mistakes occur?
The full the reasons for the judgment we do not have, and I imagine at this point one would have to look at that to say, what did the court actually find to be the issue that we need to address. But what is clear for now is that we have to ask the MEC for local government in the Northwest to postpone the 6 affected by-elections. We have to then admit those candidates in the postponed by-elections, and we will have to deal with the issue of the conduct of our staff, as the court has indicated. That is important, and what we do wish to say is that voters must please be patient. A new date will be found for the by-elections as soon as possible, and we will then undertake those elections as we should do.
When is that likely to happen?
I have indicated that we have just received that judgment just over an hour ago, and we will be looking at that matter to ensure that those by-elections are held as reasonably as possible.
So this ruling has wider implications because it brings the IEC under the spotlight, and it has implications for the validity of the IEC. We're going into elections. What does it say about your credibility?
I think it is important to indicate that when there are disputes of fact, and one must acknowledge with great gratitude that such disputes are resolved in a manner that is similar to the one that we are seeing at the moment, that the matters are taken to appropriate fora and dealt with properly. You would be aware that in this situation that we were dealing with, initially there were 9 by-elections that stood to be postponed. And the court has limited that to the 6 by-elections, which we welcome, and has really created certainty in terms of which of those by-elections should proceed and which of those by-elections should not proceed. And that is one important development. The second thing one must say is that where pronouncements of the courts have been made, we, the IEC, the public, candidates, parties, we need to learn from this exercise, and we need to strengthen our democracy further. As our democracy is strengthened, it is to be expected that the persons will get involved with our democracy in a more meaningful way. And I think this kinds of judgments give meaning to our democracy, and we must accept that and learn from these judgments.
Thank you very much for your time. That was our Chief Electoral Officer of the IEC, Mosotho Moepya, coming to us live from our studios in Parliament. Let's now go back to the main desk where Peter's standing by.